Trapped Offside Season 2. We are back for another season. A crazy start to this season. Expect the unexpected. Crazy things are happening. Arsenal top of the league. United on a roller coaster. It seems like Chelsea, Tushitaka is RIP in the mud. It's all crazy out here. But yeah, we're going to touch on all of that. Maybe have a couple guests join us in between. So yeah, where should we start? Let's start with Arsenal. Kunaal, how are you feeling? Top of the league so far in the season, but looks good. Good start in Europa as well. What are you saying? How is the season looking for you guys?
I think so far they're looking pretty solid. I mean, we have a lot of our goals scored against us have been mental errors by the team. And unfortunately, as per usual, Thomas Partey gets injured within like 3. He's only played about 50-something% of all of his games that he's been at Arsenal. So that's not really a good sign. I love the guy. I think he's really good at breaking the line. And he's also good at stopping a break. But we need a better backup than him because I think Sambi Lokonga is more of a forward midfielder. I think he's more of like that Xhaka replacement more so than a Thomas Partey replacement. Because I think much like Nuno Tavares, he has this issue where he loses the ball runner a lot. So I think we need to figure out a new. And I was really hoping we were going to sign CDM when, the day before the window closes, we lose Partey and we lose El Neni. So I think that's an important role that we need to fill. And I don't really think it was a great idea to just have a stopgap in Sambi Lokonga to be playing that role. Outside of that, I think like the offense has been looking really good. Having Martinelli on the left side, Saka, who hasn't been hitting right now, but he's improving game by game on the right side, and having Jesus in the middle, like that's an incredibly dangerous front line. I think a lot of teams are realizing that they have a pretty good connection for only playing a few games together. So it's going well. My biggest issue right now in terms of like the mainstays of the squad is I think Gabriel, the center back, is making a few too many mistakes.
I was about to say
one of the Gabriels. One of the 3 Brazilian Gabriels on our team is making a lot of mental errors. So there's a lot to work on, I think. But for the fact that, we have a pretty solid record right now, top of the league, which, we beat some pretty poor teams. I think it's going to change a lot.
How much of a setback do you think, maybe mentally more than anything, is the loss against United for this Arsenal team?
I don't think it's a big setback. I think they know that they made a few mistakes. And United, to be honest, like they played really well on the day. They were playing well on the counter. And essentially every single chance that they had, they took. Rashford hit us for 2, which that's probably like double his production from last season overall. But he played well. They took their chances. Bruno Fernandes had a really good pass into him, and Eriksen played super well, minus a few things. I think he did a great job. So we got beat by a team that's on their way up. And
would you say you got beat by the better team on the day?
No.
Oh.
Arsenal played much better that day. They just did not take their chances. We had like 50 touches in the box or 40 touches in the box as well. It's another issue with the offense, even though they're connecting. I think they're not, no one's willing to take a shot at times. Like Jesus should not only be taking, was it 1 shot or 2 shots? Like he should be taking a lot more shots. But no, United were pretty well organized. They were sitting back, waiting to counter. I think they had the right strategy.
Is that because they were playing a big club like Arsenal? So the right strategy.
A huge, massive club. They're playing a massive club.
Obviously, sit back and counter attack, right?
Yeah, you're playing like a Fulham right now. That's the problem.
Okay.
You're playing like the small team right now.
Okay.
No, it's an understandable strategy because he's just got to the squad. You had a few rough games to start the season, and they just want to shore up the defense. It's understandable. Martinez is playing super well. Varane I don't know about what he was doing that game. He was just throwing players down. I guess he did what he was supposed to do. Scott McTominay throwing people down as well.
Did you see the kick by what's his name, Jesus on Martinez?
Yeah. Did you see when?
No. Let's not change the topic. Let's stick to this one.
I think they were both playing Tekken because they both had kickouts.
They probably were, weren't they? But that kick was absolutely violent for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't condone what he did, so.
He literally, so Martinez backed up into him, and he got up.
It looks like he stepped on him while he was down, right?
He stepped on him. He just backed into him, and he kicked him in the calf as hard as he could.
I
Brazilian.
don't know about it as hard as he could. If it was as hard as he could, it'd be in a lot more pain. But I don't condone what he did.
Okay.
So all in all, you're pretty confident about this season for Arsenal going forward. Like, what are your expectations, league-wise and and the other competitions-wise?
I think we're gonna bounce back. I'm hoping we can win Europa. I think we look like one of the better teams in Europa. One of the only English teams that won last game.
Oh, is that some indirect shade?
No, it's very direct. That was. Could I be more direct? I'm not sure. No.
So of all the 5 teams that you guys beat on your 5-game win streak, how many are in the top half of the table?
How many of them beat good teams?
No. Don't deflect the question. Just let's start with that question.
Wait, where's Liverpool right now? Hold on. The only good team you've beaten is Arsenal.
I mean, okay, if you say so. I mean, Liverpool were, finalists of the Champions League. Yeah, they're having a bad start to the season, but let's call it.
They're having a terrible start to the season.
Yeah, but
they're having
team. You've beat Crystal Palace, and you guys are flying. You beat Crystal Palace. Is it Fulham?
Crystal Palace is playing better than Liverpool right now. You can't even deny that.
Okay.
Don't forget the knee slides after the Fulham win. Don't forget about those.
Fantastic
Gabriel celebrating like he won a World Cup, but yeah, that's something else. Because
why are players?
I remember we were complaining about people celebrating after. I remember some teams were complaining about people celebrating after wins.
Why are people complaining? Oh, these guys are professional football
not complaining.
Players, and
not complaining.
Beating any team in the league right now.
Not complaining, Kunaal. Not complaining.
I've already agreed.
I remember this was Chelsea Southampton, I think, last season when Chelsea beat them at the end and Chelsea was celebrating. And I think we were celebrating a draw or a win. I have no idea. Yes, I remember this, Kunaal. I remember this.
Exactly. I don't forget.
You guys
but I don't forget.
You guys are yelling at me for when Lacazette celebrated a draw.
No, it was different. You were yelling at us when Chelsea celebrated a win against Southampton. I remember this vividly.
You can pull up the video.
I was giving you guys stick because you were laughing at Arsenal for celebrating a draw.
No, me? No.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But I'll tell you why that was. Because Lacazette scored an equalizer, and this guy runs and jumps and hugs the crowd like as if they've won the league or something.
They equalized the game and saved a point. That's a important.
Celebrating any win, to be honest, a win is a win. I have no issue with that. My issue was with the equalizer and jumping into the crowd. I felt like it was a little over the top. In terms of winning,
it was a 90th minute equalizer, bro.
I have no issues with this, honestly.
Hey, listen, we're getting sidetracked.
So
I think everyone should be allowed to celebrate a win. There's no easy win in the league right now,
and that's what we were saying. That's exactly what we were debating last night. You were allowed to celebrate.
I don't recall this.
Yeah, Arsenal fans never recall anything, huh? But listen, congrats. Hey, by the way, congrats on your August Invincible season. Congrats. Yeah, great job.
Thanks. Congrats on losing and winning games. What do you want to say?
No. I mean, it's a great thing, a great achievement. August Invincibles. It's a really good record. That's a great start.
I think before we get too far into the social media derby between Arsenal and United, I think it's a great transition to jump from one Europa League qualifier to the second Europa League qualifier.
Yeah, let's talk about
Manchester United. How are you guys feeling? For me personally, it feels up and down right now. I don't know about you guys. I know you guys are on a pretty good high after winning the Arsenal game. It seems like he switched the team, and again, there's a drop. It feels like there's that strong 11 that he has where he plays on the counter. And if he tries to tweak things around and not play counter-attacking football, it feels like a completely different team. For me, I think the key player for United season is going to be Eriksen. I think the way he uses Eriksen in the midfield and on the counter, I think that's going to be key for United. But anyway, you guys take it away. Just give me us your input on the season so far.
Yeah, listen, what you said about Eriksen, I think he's a very vital player. Last year, we were crying out for some kind of creativity, composure, skill in the midfield. And like, just imagine a person like Eriksen, free transfer, going through what he's gone through and like proving himself. It just shows how weak our midfield actually was. And that's why there was so much pressure to get Frankie in. Because you can see the weaknesses in that midfield. Great to have him, but I think the other person that we really need to stay healthy and for a lot of the games is a person like Varane. He didn't have his best of games, as Kunaal had mentioned, against Arsenal. His mistake led to the goal, but that, I am fine with our defender trying to make a forward pass. And I mean, it was one of those that we kind of created that goal for you guys, and he wasn't going to be able to get back in position. But the reason I say Varane is really important is because we don't have Eric Bailly right now. And I think Lindelof is all right. But I think what his experience and Lisandro's intelligence bring is we can play a higher line. The one thing I noticed in the Europa League game, I felt like we were playing a little bit deeper with Harry Maguire and Lindelof at the back. I just felt like there was still some sort of a disconnect between defense and attack. I just felt like we weren't getting the ball out as quick as we were in the games before, against Arsenal, against Liverpool. The fluidity wasn't there. So my big concern for the Europa League game was that we don't have depth. Depth in certain positions. Casemiro, listen, it's going to take him time to adapt to like going from a lack of style to actually having some system in place. So it's going to take time for him. He looked a bit off. Fred, as we know, he's just not good in possession. He's very good at winning the ball back, but not very good in possession. And I think that's where we need an extra person in midfield. Scott, listen, played very well against Arsenal. In fairness to him, I mean, I know I don't give him enough flowers. He's doing the job that he's supposed to do. So he's been all right. But I just feel we are missing something else in midfield and maybe that was where, and I go back to Frankie de Jong was needed in that midfield to get like a more smoother connect in from defense to attack. Structurally,
so like a box to box, basically.
Yeah. So structurally, I think right now, defensively, I feel we are a lot more compact. We're getting Dalot has been overperforming. He's doing so much better. Malacia will definitely keep Luke Shaw. I don't know where he's going to keep Luke Shaw because like the way he's playing, high energy, high intensity, running up and down, overlapping, it creates a lot of width for us while we're attacking, which creates room for our midfielders to create. And a person like Eriksen has been doing a great job. He's really building a good relationship with Bruno. Even though I have my reservations still of Bruno, he always looks for the hero ball. But I feel like they have this sort of connection that they're building, which is good for us. Now, the last thing that I think is, and I think we clearly saw, Anthony still needs a little bit more time to. I feel like he's not as sharp in his match fitness. I think once he gets that, he will be fine. His defensive work is really good, and that's why I think Ten Hag really liked him. I mean, in terms of the defensive intensity. Sancho, I don't know whether the schedule that we had, the players looked a bit tired and lethargic in the Europa League game. And if you think about it, we played, I think, against.
Sancho did he play the Europa League, or he came off the bench?
Yeah, he came off the bench. But he seemed like he was out of his fitness. The intensity wasn't there. And I don't know what was the reason. I just felt something.
To be honest, he's looked like that since he joined United.
No, please. No, Sancho. No Sancho disrespect, please.
Except in
We're not
preseason.
going there.
So, two goals in 2 games just before the Arsenal. Is
Absolutely.
that the period you're referring to?
Sorry, which period?
Where he scored a goal a game in the 2 games before the Arsenal game.
A goal
No, he's referring to the period where he said Sancho would come and go.
Which the 2 games we lost?
No, we won.
2 games before. Oh, Leicester.
Yeah.
Okay, bro, I can score on Leicester.
He's been
right
scoring.
Now.
He's been performing.
Yeah.
You can score against Leicester.
I think
Are
anyone
you
can score on
saying
Leicester right now.
SHEGZ,
Has Arsenal played Leicester?
Are you saying that
has Sancho reached his pew? Has he
So,
proved himself to you?
I'm still waiting for the fuse.
No, I think for SHEGZ it's already done. He reached the pew.
No, I don't think SHEGZ is.
80-odd million.
No, I don't believe that. No, listen. Sancho has had his first preseason this year. All right, he's finally getting into
this guy's been
his
here
form.
2 years.
It's not.
This is his second year now.
Listen, he's been injured. He's been injured a bit, going from a lack of system to a system. Listen, he hasn't hit his peak potential, but I believe in Sancho. I believe in Sancho. We'll talk about Ziyech and Pulisic later, so we'll leave that for later. But I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Ziyech's done well or Pulisic has done well.
No, I never said that. I never said that either. I'm just talking about Sancho hasn't reached his potential and he will be there. I believe that he is a world-class player. In my opinion, he is a world-class player. And once everything starts ticking slowly and steadily, he will come and you will see. And the last thing I just want to mention with the Europa League, we saw our weakness in attack. As much as people disrespect Martial, I consider him for the Ten Hag system too. I think he's a really good player. We need a striker because Ronaldo looked off, out of breath, and he just doesn't have the legs in him anymore.
But that's going to happen if he's not going to play
20 minutes to playing a full game.
Yeah, full game, exactly. He has no match fitness. If he's not going to play regularly,
I'm talking about in the first 20 minutes, like he had to make a sprint to get to one of the balls, and he was struggling to get a good pass in, control the ball a little bit. His crosses were a bit off a couple times, and you could see him huffing and puffing. And it's sad. It's sad to see. It's like when you see a world-class boxer, like, they were at their peak, and you can slowly and steadily see that they might be losing a bit of their powers.
No slander against Ronaldo.
Excuse me?
I said I'm taking no slander against Ronaldo.
Yeah, Viva Ronaldo.
Yeah,
always. He should have been a Chelsea player.
Yeah, but in fairness, overall, for the season, listen, we started off slow. Okay, we're finally getting our feet under us as a team. I think I think him dropping Maguire and Ronaldo was good for our team. Regarding all the dressing room drama and everything, I feel like structurally, defensively, we look more organized. Now it's just our attack scoring the goals because, as I said, we don't really concede a lot more. We were not as open as last season. I don't know if you guys agree on that, but I don't think we're that open as we were. Like against Arsenal, even though they had a lot of the ball, like defensively, we were so organized and we kept winning the ball back. And you can say the Odegaard chance was a pretty clear chance that you had. But other than that, like specifically, I didn't really see. Y'all had so much possession. I expected more from Arsenal, considering all the other games I've seen. So, all in all, I think we're on the right track. It will be a roller coaster season, and that's why I said that we might end up in 5th. If we get a good run in, I see us entering the top 4. Other than that, I think we need striker. I think we need some little support in the midfield, and maybe just a backup defender just in case. So those are the 3 positions. I think if we strengthen in January, hopefully we can get to the top 4. But I don't know what SHEGZ, your thoughts on it.
You literally got 2 players in each of those positions. You got 2 defenders in, you got 2 midfielders in, and I think you got.
We have Harry Maguire and Lindelof if Varane and Lisandro Martinez start. Bailly is not there. Phil Jones is not training with the first team. I do believe that there is some of the under 21 defenders training with us, but other than that, we don't really have any depth in defense.
I think there was a
about
lot.
It.
There was a lot of offload as well. Like a lot
Absolutely.
of players left.
Tellez is on loan. Tellez is also gone on loan. So if you think, and Luke Shaw can maybe be used as a center back at some point if Malacia is there. But other than that, we don't have depth in defense. If you realistically look at it,
backs. You've got 4 center backs.
I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough.
No,
I think the center back position, it's too light. It's too light because just imagine like a groin injury, the game's coming thick and fast, especially with the World Cup. Yep. So I think that was. Kunaal, you were saying something earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think you have the creativity to break teams that play like a low block down? Because I feel like that might be one of the struggles. That's probably why Anthony came in.
Absolutely.
It's
absolutely
like a lot of teams now play that against the bigger teams, so it's kind of tough. And I find Arsenal has a struggle there sometimes as well, because again, you have like the like $1 move to 10-cent finish sometimes, and you can work your ass off to get almost there, and they're just not finished, which is unfortunate. That's
no, I see. I believe that definitely, and that's why I'm saying that the striker position is so important, because I believe we can get the goals from Eriksen with his late runs, Bruno always attacking inside the box. As I said, we knew the right wing was a problem. Now we have Anthony. Now it's just about him just blending in with the Premier League. It's not easy to just come in and perform to such a level. Okay, I think Rashford, the goals, he will definitely bring back his confidence, which I'm really happy about with his goals and the assists he had. I think he's going to be an important player. Creativity-wise, no, because I think the way we play, it's all about connecting the dots and linking play and quick passing. And I think if you have a proper attacker who's able to create, because once we win the ball, one thing I noticed, we're so quick in the attack. We're really quick in the attack. But for that, you need someone to hold the ball in the front. That's why you were looking for the guy from Napoli who was absolutely devastating Liverpool the other day. Osimhen? Dude, beast. Holding the ball and just like, playing off players. That's the kind of a person that we need. He has pace, he has power, he has strength over there. I would actually take, I don't know what the you guys might think about it, but I think a guy like Ivan Toney, I think Premier League proven, I think he's solid, can hold the ball. We just need someone to hold the ball in the middle. That's what it is. Because if you notice, now we're passing the ball forward a lot more. And they've been trying with Rashford at striker, which I don't think is his position, because he cannot play with his back to goal. We need someone who can do that. As of right now, Martial is the only person who can play with his back to goal. One thing that's improved for you guys, Kunaal, if you've seen, Gabriel Jesus. He's really good with his back to goal. He's very, very good in possession. Even against us, he was bullying Varane at times. He was fighting with Lisandro at times. He's one of those players. That's the kind of person we sort of need, that kind of mold of a player. And as of right now, Martial is the only player I see that can do that. I don't see anybody else. And that's why I'm crying out for a striker, like a holding striker who can at least hold the ball, because what that allows us to do with our pace on the wings, right? Overlapping runs. And then you have the creativity of Eriksen, who listen, man, that guy, I cannot stop singing his praises. Like that long ball, that first touch, quick ball, like he's so good. His vision, his awareness, his positioning is so vital to us. He can pick up those passes. He can really pick up those passes. So I don't think creativity is a problem. I think it's just our strikers, our striking position, our focal point is the issue, and that will help us for the rest of the leagues. And we need a little bit more, a lot more goals from set pieces, which is something we've been struggling with since last season. We don't score enough set piece goals. And sometimes just getting a goal against a low block team, beat corners, because a lot of the times when you have the low block, you get a lot of deflection, you get a lot of corners and stuff. United don't score a lot of goals from corners. I think that's the most important thing, is somehow we need to score more from set pieces and dead ball situations. That will help us and improve us. And because what that does is, once we score a goal, we go up, the other team is pushing in, we get them on the counter. That's it.
Yeah. I think it's counter football. I think that's where United are effective, and that's what they've been playing because you use Eriksen for those passes, and then you have the pace and the counter. I don't know how sustainable that is, to be honest.
But I don't think it's fully a counter. But I don't think it's fully a counter. Like we're just no. I don't think we're consistently just sitting back at the same time. Where
it's not sitting back
when one person is up front.
It's
because Liverpool do the same thing. Liverpool do the same thing. What they do is they do a counter press in the front.
No.
Once they get the ball, they go long from center back to the wing. They always switch the ball.
Liverpool play through the wings. You guys are playing through the middle of the park. Liverpool play with crosses and with Salah and with Trent and with Robertson. You guys are playing through Eriksen and using Rashford and whoever Sancho to counter on the pace. Like, I'm not saying you guys are sitting back all game. You guys are
okay. That's what I wanted to clarify. It's okay. Fine. As long as we understand that, because
Mourinho counter.
It gives me nightmare when Ole used to be like that. Was like counter central. All we did was just kick the ball up, and even Rashford maybe wouldn't drop. He would stay way ahead on the left. If you see now, we're actually working as a system. We're working as a team where the wingers are dropping to win the ball back. They're winning the ball back, and then it's like we're gonna hit quick on the wings or whatever. So it's like, as long as you guys agree that this is not like Ole style where that's what we are. We want to counter. Because I want people to put respect on Erik ten Hag, because he is a good coach, and I believe that he will get us through. And we have been counter for so long that it gives me nightmares when people say counter, but it's organized counter, if that's what it is. It's not just lump the ball up long and expect for the best, So fine.
SHEGZ, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think largely with a lot of things Maranol said, I think I agree. I think maybe another word of using it is probably transition football is what we're playing a lot of right now. So it's more breaking up a play somewhere, then it's quick transitions to goal. Like 4 passes, want to be in your goal, which is a bit, I guess, similar to Liverpool in that one. But it's less counter and more just like transitions. We just want to break up the play once, 4 passes. We want to be getting.
I like that word. That's the word. That's the word I couldn't think about.
That is basically counter football.
Yes,
so you're saying United
break is counter football, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah,
no, you can't like, because when you think about counter-attacking football only, it's literally like
you play on the break. You play with pace on the break. That's counter-attacking football, man.
Yes, but we are
passes to the middle, and Rashford and Sancho are off. That's counter.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the way we are playing as a team it's not. When you play as a team, it's transitional. It's not like pure counter. Just because you're attacking quicker once you get to space.
I get what you mean. Yeah,
but you don't play build-up football. You don't play build-up football. There's no like middle of the park.
Yeah, SHEGZ, go ahead.
7-8 passes here and there. Go to the wings.
It's
Kunaal, the goal against you, the whole team passed. Do you know that? That first goal that we scored against you, everyone touched the ball. Everyone touched the ball. The first goal of Anthony.
Yeah, fair enough.
Every United player.
Yeah, Maranol. Right. But obviously you're gonna have goals. Yeah, you're gonna have goals like that, but just go through the 6 games they've played so far this season, right? And game against Brentford, the other games, like Kunaal said, when the teams sit back, even against Southampton, y'all find it difficult to score. You have that 1 goal, but y'all find it difficult to score with teams that is just sitting back, as opposed to when you play in Arsenal and you had those 2 goals on the counter. Now, obviously, you're gonna have games in which you're gonna score goals by creating them, obviously, but by and large.
And we made a crucial mistake. I think Arteta made a huge mistake with how he positioned that team. And then when he brought,
I think he made a mistake with the subs. I feel like he panicked. He panicked and he put us 3 subs because like the system he was playing wasn't bad. It could have easily been Arsenal 2-1 up, Arsenal 3-1 up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ahmed, I think
I'm not disagreeing, by the way, on what you're saying. All I'm saying is like, it is not just pure counter.
It's not purely
football.
counter. Yeah.
It's transitional football, and I think like you will see it as the games go by. Once the players start understanding the system more, understanding the manager,
yeah, of course,
understanding the tactics more. So I can see, to me, as I said, because of the word counter, it's like I can see links in plays. Like the defenders, they will look for a certain area to pick. And they like the midfielder knows where to go immediately. You know, like there's like a connection between the players. Like there's a link between the players. For me, a counterattack is like, when I assume it, it's literally like everybody knows where the ball is going every time, you know. And with us, I think we are creating a transitional link of defense to offense when we get with the ball. Like they know what they're supposed to do almost to a certain aspect. I just don't like the term just counter-attacking. Transitional football, as Sheg said, is what I'm sticking by, and I like that. That's it.
SHEGZ,
That's
go
the
ahead.
word, Sheg. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
And that's the thesaurus right there.
I think as the team, I think if we signed De Jong, I'm not sure where he fits into the team right now. Because who would you bench? Are you benching Bruno? Are you benching Eriksen? Are you benching Casemiro?
Well, Eriksen, I think Eriksen would have.
When has Casemiro started?
No, I'm with you, but okay, you could use Scott McTominay. He's definitely not benching Scott McTominay. Tell you that for free. So he's not. So I don't know where he's going to fit in even if we did sign him. So I think that dream we need to also put into context. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to fit in. I do think United need a change of system, a slight tweak. I think we need to go to a 4-3-3 to really begin to see real damage. Because I think currently it's not. There's something that's not quite there in terms of the midfield, that is. And I don't know quite what exactly it is. I don't know if we need more bodies in there. I don't really know what it is. But like the first goal against Arsenal was pretty much the same one we scored against, I think it was Leicester. It was pretty much, and those goals were not counter-attack goals. The first one anyway was transition because we like won it on the wing. We passed it out to the center. Then Eriksen played it to Bruno, through ball, goal. And then it got to Rashford. He just flicked it. Think he comes in off the right and scores it. But if you see what Ten Hag is doing, he never really presses right at the front. He waits for you guys to come up and get into your offensive shape, which is when your fullbacks push wide, your centre backs split, and then we get in these little traps. We win the ball, and then we try to transition and score. So it's very interesting football. So like this is why I agree with Maranol. It's not pure counter attack where we just all sit back. Everyone's just sitting back and taking all the pressure. It's not, because we are still pressing quite from the front, but just maybe not as intensely as a Liverpool or a Man City. So yeah, I think we probably need to change the system. I think the game against Arsenal really showed the power of that sort of transitional football that Eric is trying to blood into into the boys. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen next. I think like you guys have rightly pointed out, against proper low block teams, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm very, very interested. I don't know if we'll play maybe more Ronaldo in those games. I wonder. I don't know. I think maybe that's what he expected again in the Europa League, that we'd be dominating them and there'd be lots of crosses going into Ronaldo just to get his head on it. Doesn't have to run too much. I think that might have been what he expected. That wasn't quite what happened, because they came to play. Those guys. They didn't come to sit back. I think maybe he thought they might sit back. I think. I could be obviously very wrong. I have no idea what Eric is thinking. But against the lower block team, I see Ronaldo becoming more effective. Because then they'll sit back, crosses into Ronaldo. He's not getting stopped by anybody. So I think that's where it's going to be different.
He was stopped the whole game, bro. What do you mean?
Sorry?
He was stopped the whole game in Europa.
Yes, but what I mean is that it was like a back and forth game. Against a lower league, they will literally sit back. And if they sit back, Ronaldo doesn't have to run, just to be in the right place at the right time to get his shots, get his headers. I think that's what he might do.
Also, I'd like to say that Sociedad game, like, that was a BS call. All right, they just got lucky on that goal. That is absolutely, that is. They didn't do much. Okay, I believe in the second half they started having more space, but honestly, like, that was just we made so many changes.
That wasn't luck, bro. That was complete bullshit. That call was garbage.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that in. Just wanted to get that in because I was
the thing there is
we weren't good though. We weren't good.
You guys should.
We weren't good. We weren't good. We weren't good that game. We just looked lackluster in that game. That's plain and simple. But we didn't deserve to lose.
So with the Ronaldo situation, what do you guys think happens here? Like, we all know the character Ronaldo is. He's not going to be happy sitting on the bench the whole season or coming off the bench for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It seems as though he's going to be a guaranteed starter for Europa League games, at least if that's what we take from the first game. I could be wrong. Do you see him being sold in Jan, or do you guys see him going like this for the rest of the season?
I think we'll see how he performs by the time Jan hits. I think after the World Cup has happened, how far we've got in Europa, I think that will be the determining factor. I think Ronaldo needs to grow up in a sense and realize he's not who he was even just 4 years ago. And I think he needs to make that transition. And you see that with Messi in PSG. Obviously, it's a Farmers League. It's a different ballgame. Messi does not run very much. He does not press very much. Messi just knows where he needs to be to just be giving assists. That's all he's been doing.
Yeah, no, just on that.
Messi's changed his game.
Yeah, yes, I was actually just talking to Ahmed the other day about it, because Messi in his younger days does exactly what he's doing now, like playing from deep, but he had that burst of pace to run back into the box and finish the goal. Right?
Exactly.
Now he's doing the creative part of his game, but he doesn't have to make that burst into the box. No. So he's kind of like a deep lying playmaker is what his role is now. And he's adapted himself. But for Ronaldo, he's so much of a goal scorer that if he's not getting the goals, his game is dead. You know what I mean? Like, not to throw shade on Ronaldo, but these are facts. Like,
exactly. Which is why I said that Ronaldo needs to realize he's not the guy he was even 4 years ago. He needs to evolve. Maybe he needs to play more link-up play. He needs to start learning to drop a bit deeper, because nobody's going to get the ball of Ronaldo if he does get it on his chest or whatever. He can play the nice ball. And he actually had some good passages of play when he did come on. And he played some very nice balls to the wingers. So I don't know if that's a side of his game he wants to build more on, but he really... He's not the Ronaldo of all.
Is he gonna be able to handle not being the focal point though?
And this is it. This is what I'm getting at. So if he doesn't evolve, because I think that there was one run where he got through on goal and then two defenders caught up to him, because he just doesn't have it. Unfortunately,
yeah, but I don't think he has a choice. I mean, either he accepts the role that he has,
or he leaves the club. I
mean, he doesn't really have a choice.
He has to go to a different league.
I think it was either
exactly. He doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, I think it was either Arsenal or Leicester, maybe, where he was through on goal. Centre back was behind him. The centre back caught up to him and tackled him. You know, he's just not gonna do that anymore. You know, those ones used to be guaranteed goals without shadow of a doubt. Whereas now, you know, he's not quite what he was. So I think he's gonna have to evolve his game. I think we're going to see United switch systems and grow into new systems. I don't know if it's going to be a back three or if it's going to be a midfield three. So instead of Bruno sort of hanging out as a cam right behind the striker, he might go to like right centre midfield type vibe, because I think that might give us some more ability to press, get more of these transitional...
Like a De Bruyne position.
Sorry?
Like a De Bruyne position.
Yeah, exactly like that. So
I think for that to happen, and he might do that, but Casemiro needs to be completely fit, be match fit, be able to play 90 minutes. Then maybe you can see a 4-3-3.
Exactly.
Without that, I don't see it happening.
And against Arsenal, for example, a lot of you guys' great pressure came from the wings. Now I think that is because we've only got two CDMs, and so both of them tried to stay quite central. So you got so much space on the wings to do whatever you wanted. Now I think if we had three in midfield, and you had the fullback midfielder and possibly the right winger coming back, I think we might have cut off a bit more of your attacks. I could be wrong.
I think Arsenal has multiple styles of play just because of how much class they have on the wings and in the midfield. I think Odegaard is playing.
On the wings,
hey. Are you telling me you wouldn't take Martinelli right now?
Over who?
Tell me you wouldn't take Martinelli over anyone on your team.
No. Over who?
Over Elanga.
Over Sancho, over Elanga, over Anthony, anyone. You can play on both sides.
Over Sancho, did you say?
Yeah.
With your chest?
With anyone's chest, I will say that. I haven't been working out. I can't really say shit with my chest right now. But
no, you take Martinelli over Sancho. No way.
Everyone would take. Okay, let's do a poll right here for the not United fans. Who would you take, Martinelli or Sancho on your team?
I think based on what we've seen so far.
I'd take Ronaldo.
Based on this guy and Ronaldo, bro. Just allow it.
For your left wing, you're going to take Ronaldo for your left wing.
Ronaldo and those three strikers.
I'm just taking Ronaldo for a striker.
Bro, on Chelsea, you play left wing back. I'm not sure if that's the right move for you.
Okay, actually, on that note, let's move into Chelsea. It's been a start to the season, a depressing start to the season. We'll start with Jithin and Ahmed. You guys go ahead, and then I'll give mine. Jithin, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't heard Jithin's voice. Let him start.
I was listening to you
Just
guys.
soak
You
it in.
guys are doing
Soak
well.
it in.
I would honestly take a W for Chelsea, a comfortable W. Now, jokes aside, but I think the last week when we had the call and I told no ways Todd is going to fire Tuchel, no ways. I think he's going to give time. I was shocked. I was surprised. But then when I started reading into more articles, listening to more things, whatever, if it's true or not true, I started realizing that there's a lot more behind the scenes that I didn't know. Maybe some of you guys knew because you read more, but and it eventually it got me to a fact that I think maybe it's a good thing. It was time. Because what put me off with Tuchel what put me off generally, even though I didn't want him gone, was a lot of his press conferences. I saw a very different side of Tuchel, a very different kind of response from him, a very
very negative.
Negative. All his responses were like, I don't know, I'm frustrated. I have no idea. I need to go see what happened. I have no idea why the players did this. He has never been like this. Even though we lost maybe some games last season, he has never said this. That made me realize. And then even the last press conference we had, the last final long one after the post Dynamo Zagreb game, I saw he was there was like a lot of pent up frustration in him that I saw like maybe he was done. Maybe he was done with the job. Maybe he was not getting what he wanted. So that made me realize maybe it's the right time to make the move. Because the game against Zagreb, we were really bad. We were playing like schoolboys. Anytime Zagreb got the ball, they had 11 players behind on defense. And all they had to do was just 1, 2. All the chances they got were great chances. It was not them trying. They knew on the counter attack they would get because our midfield was empty. It literally felt like we were playing a 4 and a 5 and a 6 in front. No one in the midfield. Kovacic was sometimes with the defender. Who else was playing? Who are the other two midfielders? Jorginho came in between. He was not playing from the start.
RLC, I think, played.
I'm glad to watch that game.
They made Fofana look like a 35-year-old defender. They made Koulibaly look. Koulibaly was okay. I think the only player who was really trying hard was Sterling, to a certain extent. And Kepa, when he was called for a save, he did that. Other than the goal was a great goal. Fofana looked like a child. So maybe it's a good move that we did this, and we needed a change in system, as Bert keeps saying, system with Chelsea. I feel maybe this is a good time for the change. I honestly miss Tuchel. I don't know if it is the right move, but I think it's time that we did this and we brought in Potter. And in a way, it's good that this weekend's game was called off, and I think Potter gets more time with the team to set up the team, because we have Salzburg coming up in a couple of days, and then we have Liverpool if the game goes ahead. I don't know the plan yet. So in that way,
great hire, by the way, great hire.
I don't know. Again, my only worry is how is he going to manage all these big players that we have? How is he going to manage? His
pedigree, basically, his acumen.
Yes. How is he going to manage 4 tournaments? And all 4 tournaments having to win is the least that we're expecting, from a club like Chelsea. How is he going to manage that? How is he going to manage the press? Because now all eyes are on him. New ownership. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that have to fall into place, and he has to check a lot of boxes for things to work out at Chelsea for him with the players we have. What's his lineup going to be? Who is he going to bench? Is he going to? I think he's going to stick to a 3 at the back, because that's his style in Brighton as well. And that's one positive I see, that he can come in and get this team back to the 3 at the back, 2 wings. I don't know if he's going to switch that system. Our midfield needs to pick up their game. I don't know if we are going to make any big signings in Jan. And I have to say, Aubameyang has to click as a striker.
And you need a DOF.
Exactly. So I'm hoping. I think everything is going to fall in place now, and I really hope Graham Potter is for the long run, and not just a 8-month, 9-month, 1-year project. If we do bad, he's out again. because I don't think Todd is the kind of owner that can handle the hire and fire situation. I don't think he's one of those owners. He's not like Roman. He doesn't have a team under Roman, the team that Roman had under him to manage this. Be cutthroat and just wake up the next day and things are back to normal for Chelsea. A new guy comes in, an interim manager comes in, we win a trophy, everything is back, we're good. I don't think Todd has that skin to be such a ruthless manager, a ruthless owner. So I think he has to keep Potter for the long run, because otherwise it could be a big crash for Chelsea for the next couple of years. Bearing that in mind, we just got to forget the past now, move forward with the players we have, at least till World Cup, and then Jan comes in. Yeah, and I'm not really happy with how things are going, but it is what it is. We got to live with it. And yeah, that's.
Can you guys share your pros and cons on Potter as a manager?
Before we get to Potter, I think the biggest worry for me is, to be honest, that we spent so much money this window in getting players that were supposedly for Tuchel, right? We got him the players that he wanted. And there's all this talk about, especially when we signed Aubameyang, that his history with Tuchel and how well he's done with him and all of that. Fafana, and all these players, right? And then, it's definitely nothing to do with the results. I feel personally it's not nothing to do with the results. It's not that he lost to Dynamo, he lost a couple of games in the league and he got fired. It's definitely something else, and there's definitely something behind the scenes. Because you don't spend 250 million for a manager and you sack him after a couple of bad results. That doesn't happen, right? And I personally, I don't know. I think unless it was like something that was really that could not be fixed, that was something off the pitch. It was something other than the results, and Tuchel had to go. Then yeah, but for me, he was still the man, definitely the man for sure. But at least this season, definitely. But now that he's gone, we've got Potter coming in. Pros, I mean, Premier League manager. He's already worked in the Premier League, and to be honest, he's done great with Brighton. With the players that he's had and the performances he's put in, and he's really, really changed the way they play football. My only concern is, of course, it's not just the Premier League now. He's got to compete in Champions League. And he's got no European experience, obviously. So that's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And I also feel like it's going to be a long-term thing. It's not going to be one of those ones where, if he doesn't do well, he gets fired. Because what I've been reading, what I've been listening to, Todd did his homework before signing Potter. He got a lot of information. He studied him well, and then made the signing. From what I'm hearing, this was like in the plans, in the works, much before the season started. Like he was looking to change things up. So I don't know.
If that's true, I think that's one of the dumbest decisions possible, because why would you give Tuchel this window?
Which is why I don't understand. Yeah, which is why I don't understand. Like if this was your plan all along, that you wanted to bring in someone and keep them for the long term, then why not do it before the season and give the managers if they're going to bring in his players? That's why I feel it's not. I don't completely believe that it's true. Maybe there was some friction.
They wanted to cut everything got to do with Roman. And he was, I think, the last piece to completely start a new clean slate. Everyone fresh, backroom staff fresh, so manager now fresh. Now only the players are left. And I don't know how many players. He has signed quite a few anyways, and we have a few more which came from the Roman era. But so I think he wants to start fresh especially in the backroom side of it. Cut out everything from a Roman aspect. And go, like, he wants to start his new vision, I think, Todd. I don't know how much it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to be. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. And one last pro with Potter is he's going to give a lot of chance to youngsters, academy players, homegrown players. So this is a good positive. It goes back to when Lampard was able to pick these youngsters and get them into the first 11, and here they are now in the first 11 playing. A lot of them like James, Mount, Tammy when he was there, Cho when he was there. So that's the pros. Cons I already listed out all his cons. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a long journey for us. If we have to get top four, nonetheless, whatever said and done, top four is a must. Otherwise, it's a failure for me personally as a Chelsea fan. Even if I don't get any we don't win
That's
any
the bare
trophy,
minimum
but
every season.
top
That's just the
four has.
minimum.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
given the situation, given what we're going through, given all the mess, it's kind of a restart, kind of like a restart for us. It's a new season for us. We're going to start our first game come against Salzburg. We're going to start our Champions League group stage against Salzburg. We're going to start our Premier League on Sunday against Liverpool. That's how I look at it. So for me, it's going to be a fresh start, new strategy, new system. I'm hoping new methods to play, new training, everything. Fitness of players are going to be different because the training is going to be different from Potter. I don't know personally if Potter is. The Brighton players look fit. All the Brighton's players look fit. So I'm hoping that fitness comes into our Chelsea players as well, and that push and that attitude and that drive the Brighton players have. I don't know the game they played against Leicester. They played some brilliant football, like unbelievable.
No, they favored the whole season.
Their goals were great. So I want to see that. I want to see that attitude from the players, and I feel like a lot of players were down as well with this. With Tuchel being in charge, I felt like a lot of players didn't want to give 100%. Like this might be something silly, but as small as even their social media posts to thank Tuchel was like so emotionless for me. For someone who gave them the Champions League, the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, so many good moments. All of them. It must be very silly for me to say this, but it was just like, thank you, Gaffer. Thank you so much for your support. There was no emotion for me. So I felt like the players were done with Tuchel as well, to a certain extent. Yeah, I'll end it at that, but this is my overview of Chelsea in general.
And just a quick one to add before you say something, Burton. From what I understand, there was also a deal agreed. Todd Bowley and Tuchel really disagreed on a lot of transfers. And one of the reasons also was because George Mendes and Todd Bowley had actually agreed on a deal for Ronaldo. And that deal was vetoed by Tuchel after seeking advice from Ralph Ragnick. So
but okay.
Somehow Ragnick had to bring that over there. But I think there was a lot of disagreements for a lot of the transfers that Tuchel wanted and Todd Bowley wanted, especially to add to the fact that you had said that there was something else going on. I think those are things that can come in.
There was definitely friction, and I don't get this Ronaldo thing is just so stupid for me. I mean, Todd Bowley doesn't know jack about football, right? He's just coming and bought the club, right? And if you're going to ask the manager the players he wants, and if the manager says no and he doesn't seem fitting the system, why would you buy it? Like, why would you push for the player? You know what I mean?
But why would you then get Aubameyang?
Even if they would get Ronaldo and Tuchel doesn't agree with it, he's probably going to be in the bench, and that's going to be toxic for the whole dressing room. Ronaldo's not just going to come in there and be quiet and say, fine, that's okay, I'm going to sit on the bench. Obviously not, right? And if Tuchel doesn't want him, then Todd Bowley should respect that, right? Todd Bowley is not a football man.
No, definitely agreed on that. But I think Ronaldo brings some different dimension to a system where you're getting those crosses and someone who doesn't have to run and just stay over there.
Does Todd Bowley know that? Does Todd Bowley know football?
Listen, you understand how much marketing and income you will get just from sales from a Ronaldo jersey. Like at the end of the day, they want money.
That is not Tuchel's. That is not Tuchel's problem. Tuchel is not there to get money into the club. Tuchel is not there marketing, right? Tuchel wants to
so that's why he's gone. That's why he's gone. So that's why Bowley and him disagreed.
I wanted Ronaldo in the team. I said from the beginning when this news broke out that I would take Ronaldo. But if the manager doesn't want him in the team, and you're going to bring in a player of the caliber and profile of Cristiano Ronaldo to come in, and right off the bat he doesn't kick off. I mean, he doesn't get along with the manager. The manager doesn't want him there. That's just a recipe for disaster, straight up. And Todd Bowley is not a football man.
The bottom line here is that Tuchel didn't fit the new culture and the new direction that this club was going. Like if you compare Tuchel to even last season when there was no ownership and we were under sanctions, he was still a fighting manager. He would come out in conferences and fight for the team. defend the team, talk about driving a bus himself when there's no money. He still said all these things because you could see within him he was still motivated to bring out the best in the team. He didn't know where the club was headed in that direction. He very much suited the structure of the club prior to Todd Bowley, because all he had to do was coach and report to Marina and Czech. And Marina and Czech handled all the work that he was currently doing this transfer window. And that was the turning point for him, is when this transfer window, when he had all that extra workload, he was put in charge of the transfer window. And from what we're reading, he was constantly being asked for feedback about this target, that target. And if we're talking about the Ronaldo situation, which I don't completely believe, but let's say it's true, and Todd Bowley, Tuchel says he doesn't want Ronaldo, and then Todd Bowley's upset about it, but you put Tuchel in charge of the transfer window. So if Tuchel doesn't want Ronaldo, we don't get Ronaldo. There's nothing to get upset about. So whatever, whether that's true or not, right? The question mark is definitely how they have spent all that money to back him in the window, given that they knew this was coming. Honestly, I knew something was off, because I was telling these guys even in preseason in the Chelsea group, like, he wasn't trying anything new. He was doing the same three at the back system, the same attacking patterns. There was no creativity, and it just looked like he was just like rinse and repeat. There was no ideas. He didn't look motivated. You could tell from his body language in the conferences and stuff like that. Yeah, it could have been burnout, and he was just not motivated to do the job anymore because he didn't fit that role. He wants to strictly be a coach, and he is a top coach, right? And of course, that I would love to have him here, but I can see why they cut ties so early, because now you're rebuilding the club, you're building it in a new image with a new culture. You want a manager that's involved. That's more of a man manager than a coach. This is what their profile is now, which is why Potter has come in.
Is Potter proven to be a man manager though?
Yeah, at Brighton, Swansea, and Ostersund, wherever he was at, he was more, because this is what they say, that he has like a master's in emotional intelligence, and he's worked closely with people, and that's how he's got the team spirit at Brighton and stuff like that. Which, how much of it is true is you take what you want from that. But we like, if he can relate that over to Chelsea, yet to be seen. If he can bring out the best of this Chelsea team, yet to be seen. We don't. Everything is hypothetical at this point when it comes to Chelsea and Potter, because we don't know if it's a perfect fit yet. But in terms of why the decision was made and the direction the club is going into, that's why they brought in Potter. And if you look at the speed that it was they brought him into,
it was definitely planned.
You know it was in the plan. You know it was in the plans. You know this was happening behind
the works. Yeah.
And
Martin, just a quick question to you. While you're talking about Tuchel, like, just the things that you just said about he didn't seem right. Okay. How much of a factor do you think his personal life, because he during that time, even the fact that I believe he had a divorce that was going on during that same time, and do you think that had an impact of all of these things playing to him losing motivation?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, even just for Bert to add on to, even there was a talk where he was dating a younger girl, and the dressing room was talking about it, and not liking the fact. There's so much shit going on.
But yeah, I mean, it's all guesswork for us at this point, because we don't know. But you would think that would definitely take a toll on top of what he's doing, right? Like, if you would imagine that for yourself, it would be hard to deal with that kind of a situation on top, and then you have all that added work on top of what you're doing. So yes, it could be. I don't know for a fact.
Sorry, just before we move on from that topic, I think Tuchel, in Todd's defense, I think he really gave Tuchel a chance. I think he really wanted. I think he wanted Tuchel to do well. I think he changed the whole structure from Roman days. I think he said, Tuchel, what players do you want? Let's make it happen with you. But then, all these things that you guys have said, and I think there was clearly some player dissent. Something has gone on in the dressing room that's outside of the dating rumors. I think the players, something wasn't right in that space. And once that happened, so he said, Tuchel, you've got some chances. These are your like chances. And then in the end, he was like, yeah, I think we just need a complete reset. But I do honestly believe he tried it with
I agree because
I think it was a jerk.
No, I agree with you because there were talks at the beginning where they wanted him to be the long-term man and back him and build the club around him. It's just that he wants to focus on coaching and maybe that's
and there were too many roles for him.
Yeah, that's why he didn't feel like he was the right fit. And it might have been frustration from his end where there was like a clash of personality between the owner and Tuchel. And we've seen that before with him at PSG as well. So yeah, I agree with you. And because he's been playing so many players out of position, right? And I've said this before, like playing Ziyech, RLC at wing back, CHO at wing back, playing Havertz as striker, playing Mount as right wing. Like all these players were out of position, and it could have come from frustration where he was just not motivated to do.
So can I add to that? What I think actually happened, I think a lot of the players dissented against him, and the only guys who were on his side were the RLCs, were a few of these players, which is why he kept playing them. It was almost ridiculous. He had centre backs in the bench, but he was still playing Reece James at centre back, right centre back, when he's the best wing back, he's like the best player on the team. So clearly something was up in the sense of there was like a disagreement between him and players. There was something was going because that made no sense. Why what's his name? Choliba was on the bench. Why Aspilicueta was on the bench when he just built his career at right centre back. And I get it, he might be getting a bit older, but you can't have him and have Reece James doing his bits down the field. So there was something going on with the players. Either players, and he seemed. So just to finish, he seemed really married to playing RLC. Like whatever way he could get that guy on the pitch, he got him on the pitch. It was CDM, right wing back. He just wanted to play him, which makes me believe that he was one of the guys who was backing Tuchel in whatever happened behind the scenes. Because he just seemed too desperate to play him. It didn't make sense. He was way too desperate to play RLC. But then moving forward, I think Graham Potter is a very shrewd signing. In the sense, because I think he picked a manager who's great at a back three, so there's not much evolution. If you look at Inter, that's why they brought in Inzaghi after, what's his face? Conte. It's, again, back three, the same system. He's pretty much playing the same team, just slightly differently. And I think that's why he's brought in Potter to do the same thing. So I think it actually makes a lot of sense what he's doing. So when he also said earlier that you think he kept playing players out of position, I think he had his system. I think every single team, like for example, Man City, they play 4-3-3. They never deviate. Liverpool play 4-3-3. They never deviate. And even when results go up or they go bad. So I think he had his system. And I think rightly so, you stick to your system. You stick to your guns.
But SHEGZ, on that, right? It's okay. Liverpool had their fixed system. I don't think City does because I think City switch formations very well during a game. I think their inverted wing backs and all that stuff, they load up the midfield and it's all short passes. And either way, when you look at us, right, it's okay if you stick to the system and the system is effective, right? If you look at how we started off last season and we were coasting, blowing past teams, not conceding goals, scoring 3 games a goal, and competing with Liverpool and City, I'm all for it. No problem. When the system is not effective, right? And now we've gone into this season and we've regressed. We've regressed from set pieces where we were so effective. Mount has regressed. He looks nothing like himself. Jorginho's legs are done. The forwards, Havertz is not a clinical striker, so you're regressed as a striker. Your wingers, your Pulisic and whoever, they're wide wingers. They've been played in a way where they have been ineffective. So we've regressed in that aspect. So if you're playing that same system and then leaking goals based on, like, our building block was our strong defense. Nobody could score against us, right? When you're conceding double the goals of what you conceded in your first half games at the club, the system is not working. You cannot be stubborn at that point and say, no, this is my system. Nothing is going to change. It's going to fix itself. That's not going to happen. You have to be able to adapt. And he being a coach that everyone rates so highly, You have to be able to adapt. You cannot say, okay, this is a fixed system. This is how we're going to play. And eventually we will come good. That won't work.
Also, Sheg, just to add to Bert, we didn't have a fixed 11, I think, 2 consecutive games. We always kept changing players, irrespective of injuries, no injuries. We always kept changing. We had Havertz one day in front. We had Sterling another day. We had Ziyech. It's ridiculous. Again, you add it with a system that's not working, and you have players who are just off position, and every game playing different players next to their right. You get used to wanting to pass to Havertz, and then you have to change. So that I think that was a big issue for me as well, more than the system was a fixed 11.
Yeah, so I think the issue is not, because I think with any football team, you realize there's 2 components. There's the coach's system and the players he has to fulfill the system. And I think this is where one of those things went wrong. I don't think his system went wrong. Tuchel has been successful everywhere he goes. His system is not the issue. The players in that system, something went wrong, and that's where the issue was. It wasn't in his system at all. That's where I was going with it. I think the players take down tools or whatever.
I think. Sorry, Ahmed.
Yeah, I mean, the system was fine. I just think the personnel were not fine. I mean, and there were a number of factors for that. You had Rudiger leaving the club, right? You had Christensen leaving the club. Your midfielders are injured. Kovacic is injured. N'Golo Kante is out injured. So now you have to fill those positions with players. RSU is playing right wing back. Why? Because you don't have a player to play in that position. Reece James is playing right center back because you don't have a player to play in that position, right?
No, but you have players to play that position.
Also, he did switch to 4 at the back in a few of the games, and we got absolutely hammered because you do not have a midfield to play a 4 at the back. We got absolutely destroyed.
Ahmed,
when he switched 4 at the back.
With the same system, we were so effective. With the same system,
but not the same personnel. Not the same personnel.
Pretty much the same personnel. You won the Champions League with like a similar.
One second. Hold on. If you look at forget Rudiger and Christensen, okay, put them aside for now, right? Your same attack, your same midfield, it won you the Champions League. It got you off to like hold on. Let me finish. It got you to a flying start the next season, right? Then your midfield got injured, okay? And then you started pulling players out of position and it all went downhill, right? So now you know the midfield is your issue. You don't go out and get
your wing back.
Yeah.
And your wing backs.
Yeah, and you don't go out and get a CDM. And then you continue to play players out of position. So how can you say that's a personnel issue? Then you're misprofiling players. It's a misprofiling issue. It's not a personnel issue. Because you're playing players out of position. You haven't fixed your core team, which is the DM, and you've seen how injury-prone the DMs are. You've seen how George gets washed by everyone.
Yeah, I've been telling you, Jorginho has to go like last year. He was done last year. Yeah.
He gets rinsed by the referee running.
But who do you play? But my question is, who do you play instead of Jorginho? Who would you play?
Get a new player in, bro.
Go out and get a DM. You can't continue to make excuses in your 3rd season and
spend 60 million on Cucurella, who was the second, basically.
Agreed.
Cucurella. The Cucurella.
Cucurella is fine. So that's what I'm saying. Why did they not go out and get a player?
It's got Chilwell better as well. So I have no issues with that.
I have no problem with Cucurella.
You don't bring in a solid DM when you know that is the core of the team and it misbalances the whole team.
Yeah. So I've been screaming for a new midfield. I've been screaming for new midfield since last season. Ever since Kante got injured, and Jorginho should have gone next season.
I'm not happy with Fofana nor Cucurella. Why not put that 80 million and get Declan Rice?
Because West Ham were not going to sell.
We shelled out 170, I think roughly 170, 160 million on Cucurella and Fofana. I don't rate Fofana at all. Not because what I saw in Zagreb.
We had to get
I just don't rate him as a defender. I would rather get Dillit for cheaper. I would get Dillit for cheaper.
But they tried.
Dillit wasn't cheaper, bro. He went exactly. And he was around the same. He was around 70 something.
No, not 70. No way.
Yeah, he
70.
was.
No.
Yeah,
Jithin, I'll tell you something.
Then I would get him over. Bro, Fofana is really bad.
I'll tell you something.
I don't rate Fofana at all.
No, I'll tell you something. Any defender we went for, we were going to get rinsed. Because we were desperate. Every club that was selling to us knew we were desperate.
Agreed.
We were going to get rinsed.
I completely agree.
We were definitely
agree. Fine. Why wouldn't West Ham sell it? 1 minute, I have a question. Why wouldn't West Ham sell if you're putting an 80 million to buy him? Why wouldn't
because
West Ham
right
sell
now, they value him at 150 million. He's their key captain. Okay,
he's a captain,
and he has 3 years left on his contract, and he's not going to put in a transfer request. So it also depends on the player. Like, you can go and throw money at it if the player doesn't want to leave and they have that loyalty to the club. They're not going to do it. And at the same time, you put in, let's say you drop the 150 million, you're bringing in one player. You still have 2 centre-backs who left the club. You have Azpilicueta, whose legs are done. So you still have to bring in centre-backs. Are you going to bring one CDM or are you going to bring in?
Then why not the guy Alvarez?
Yeah, they tried for him, right? But
they went for him.
That's what I'm saying. My issue is that these guys didn't realize this way ahead of time. You know you have a CDM issue. On the final deadline day, you're going for Zakaria. When you know you have this issue like months ago. That was my issue. Like, honestly, the CDM changes the whole system of the team. If you have a solid CDM, you can change the formations. You can.
I really hope I'm wrong. I just don't want Fofana to be a Maguire, but I really feel like he's going to be one of a Maguire.
It's too early, man. He just played 2 games, man. You just relax. He's 21.
No, even in Leicester, bro, he wasn't that great in Leicester.
Why are you bringing Maguire into this conversation, bro? Why are you bringing Maguire?
He came from Leicester. Because Fofana was learning from Maguire for a while.
No, he was not, bro.
No. He wasn't learning, man. They tricked us, man. The agent who sold us Maguire, he threw out his little go phone. He threw it out, man.
It's too early to call Fofana, man. The guy's just 21. He's got a long career ahead of him. It's too early.
Leicester used Maguire money for a new stadium, man. Freaking hell.
But anyway, I think on that topic, Leicester are one of the relegation favorites.
Listen, who do you think is the next manager gonna get sacked? Do you think it's Lampard? Do you think it's Gerrard?
It should be Gerrard. If I'm being honest, given his squad, it should be Gerrard.
And his results, but he got a draw against City, so saved his job.
What do you guys think of Nottingham Forest? 22 new people coming into the
they're just preparing for next year's championship. They're preparing to come back, get relegated.
Listen, they're playing decent though. They're playing some decent ball.
I think they started out decent and then they started to get spanked by everyone.
Spanked 6 by City, but that's okay. That's a given.
And I think next season
they lost to Bournemouth.
Ivan Toney should leave Brentford and go to a big club. He's one of the best strikers I've seen in a while.
Also, I'm hearing apparently because of the Potter link that Chelsea might go for Casado in January, and they're offering him a new contract right now.
I think there will be a DM in January for sure. And
you think they're gonna bring Trossard?
I think no. I think what's his name, Mendy. I think he's running a tightrope right now. He's running a very
no. He's finished. Rope is over. Rope is over. That's it.
If you look at how Potter plays with his keepers, Mendy does. I honestly think he's going to start Kepa over Mendy.
I hope. I think Mendy needs to be benched.
I hope as well. That'd be great if we had.
I think Mendy needs to get challenged for that position because he's been terrible.
Yeah,
his decision making it just frustrates me, man.
Yeah, Mendy is another one who regressed. Like, I don't know.
Love to see the frustration for the
London clubs. Because
I must say, if it isn't Arsenal, it's Chelsea. Yeah. I'm happy to see this little bit of frustration.
I think the thing is your aggression started at the end of last season, and all the players were underperforming, or maybe they were overperforming previously. Because I think I saw a big change from that club where you guys were 10 points clear. I think once you're defensively strong, it shows throughout the team. It showed. Going forward, and it showed how secure Mendy was as well. Maybe the defense was so good that it hid these errors of Mendy because his decision making is absolutely garbage. Absolute, and we're so lucky for that West Ham game. That was the worst decision I've seen in my life.
Yeah, I think.
And another big red flag that I all the laurels.
I see 2 red flags.
Kind of covered for us last season was the number of finals that we lost. I mean, we played fabulous football. It was all penalties, everything, but it was a major red flag when I go and think back to all those finals that we sat and lost. I mean, for me, when I look at it now, I feel like it was there was a big downfall from there, as Kunaal said, from last season where everything was just building up, and it just took a moment to, snap. And
maybe that could have been a push. Winning those 2 trophies could have been like a push.
Yeah. Could have helped the team a little bit more mentally. The players, losing four. I think we lost 3 finals or 4 finals. It's a big hit, even if you don't realize it, because we won the Champions League, so that calmed it down. Like the players were calm because of that, and we won a couple of small trophies after that. That was again calming the players and just rubbing the players' ego in a way that, oh yeah, we're doing well. But overall, anyways, I want to forget Tuchel now. Move on. Go into Graham Potter.
I think overall he deserves a lot of credit because the finals was very thin margin. I mean, if it's a matter of that Lukaku offside goal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a matter of now missing like an open goal, and it's down to penalties. Could go either way. He's took us to every single final that he's played in since he joined. And I think we lost the 2 FA Cup finals in the Carabao, and then we had the Champions League, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup. So, I mean, overall, he's done an excellent job. And like, if the structure of the club had remained, I would love it that Tuchel continued because he seemed motivated to do his job, and tactically he was amazing. And this season, I only saw it in the Spurs game, and besides that, like every other game was painful to watch. There was no creativity, no new ideas. So maybe it was the right time to change. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes anyway from here. But yeah, I think that's about it. Do you guys had anything else to touch on? Or
yeah, I wish there was football this weekend. I think it should have gone on.
You can watch La Liga. You can watch Timo Werner miss goals in Bundesliga. You can watch
I'm done.
a lot of options.
But some NFL games on.
I miss Timo Werner as well.
There's Europe midweek anyway, so just touching on United and Arsenal. What are you guys feeling about Europa? Are you guys confident you can win it, or you're not really concerned about Europa?
To be honest, maybe I'll take this one first. I think everybody at United, I mean, it'd be great, but we don't really care. I think what we are really what I'm really focused on is I just want to see the team progressing in the Premier League. I want to see us competitive. If we get to Europa League, if we get out, I don't really care. If we get FA Cup, to be honest, all those other trophies, I don't care. I just want to see progression in the Premier League right now, because at the start of the season we're all scared. I just want to see that progression. I mean, if these trophies come, I'm excited for it. Super excited.
You know what? More than that, SHEGZ. I feel this could be the way into Champions League for one of the teams. Because given the teams that are playing, like look at Spurs, Liverpool will get there. They're not there yet, but they will get there, right? City. I think Europa League could be a way for, because maybe if one of the teams misses out on top 4, this could be the way for them back into the Champions League. And more than that, it's a trophy. It's still a trophy.
Yeah.
That 2 to 6 race is really scary because there's some teams like,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Like, is Chelsea going to come into form? Is Tottenham going to keep playing like this? Is Arsenal going to keep playing like this? United, we're talking like 6 teams or 5 teams realistically with Liverpool.
Don't forget about Spurs.
I said Tottenham. But realistically, there's 5 teams that are fighting for like 3 spots right now, and they all kind of have the opportunity or ability to get to that. Is Arsenal going to do like bottle it at the end of the season?
Newcastle too,
like that type of shit. Newcastle as well, yeah. So there's a lot of teams right now where you're correct. Europa could be like, It was really frustrating for me because I think the window ended really well for a lot of the other teams. I think Tottenham did a solid job with their window and they're playing really well.
And did it early.
Oh, by the way,
did a great job and did it early.
Who were talking nonsense about Richarlison last week? Eat your blood clot words.
Come on, bro.
Blood clot words. I told you, my man is a dream. You guys I don't know what football matches you were watching. You were slagging him off. He got 2 goals. Say less.
And what?
Oh, what do you mean?
Come on, bro. He's been sitting on the bench the whole time. He just came off the bench now.
How many Chelsea? How many Chelsea played?
Marseille.
So look,
they were down a man.
Whatever you want to make your excuse.
Yeah, it took them like a man down and 70+ minutes to score that goal.
Sorry?
Chickerson.
Look, it is what it is.
He's a
does Richarlison get?
He's just not a top player.
Yeah. He's not a top player.
So I don't know why you hate Richarlison.
It's not.
I don't hate him.
He's such an annoying character, bro. All he goes around doing this the whole time. That's all he does, bro.
See, this is it. This is the same hate Kunaal has for Sancho. It doesn't make sense. It literally is based on nothing.
Sancho hasn't done anything, SHEGZ. Come on, bro. Let's be honest. He's got talent, but he hasn't done anything. Let's be honest. He hasn't set the league on fire.
Then you will die very painful deaths.
Bro, you're still dying on your few hill right now. That's the
exactly. We haven't seen him few yet. When he does it, yes.
Wait. Let me just quickly say my result or what I think for the Europa.
Wait, one second. SHEGZ, what exactly has Richarlison done that has made you back into the hills this way? What has he done? Can you tell me what he's done? Scored 10 league goals?
See, you guys didn't grow up with a young Ronaldo in your team. You don't know what that kind of talent looks like. So
you're telling me Richarlison?
I'm not done, mate.
Like a young Ronaldo?
Mate, hold on. I'm not done yet. So when a guy like me sees a Richarlison on the ball, sees the way he glides, sees the way he dribbles.
I think you watch too much championship football with Watford, bro.
Done yet.
I think you're playing too much FIFA, bro.
So with the left foot, so with the right foot. When you see that, and you think, this man is a talent. He's a talent. Is coming. Very soon it's coming. You can see it. And that, my friend, is the difference. Because I think this kid is going to go places. Watch. This season.
Where is he going to end up in Madrid? Real Madrid? Or where?
Possibly.
Nah, mate.
Possibly.
Nah.
Not Richarlison. Come on.
Look, Rafinha did it.
Rafinha was fire, bro.
Rafinha is killing.
Between Rafinha and Richarlison, please.
Rafinha has so much more ability than Richarlison. Richarlison just runs to the line and does this, and then this. and then holds some flair and goes across. Please, bro. Enough of this Richarlison. He's a waste.
Just watch.
He's a decent player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But he's not this super player you're hyping him out to be. He's done nothing to show that he's a top quality player. He misses a boatload of chances.
He does. He misses a lot of easy chances. And he's also benefiting right now from Son.
Then he does joke
and he whines a lot.
But
he whines a lot.
You have to be there to miss the chances. I don't see too many chances.
They're going to rate every player that misses chances then?
Then Timo Werner is the best player in the world.
We don't have
I don't see it,
Timo Werner is the greatest player.
I don't see it.
We don't have strikers, SHEGZ.
At Chelsea, there's a boatload of players that are in the right places and miss chances. So you're going to rate all of them?
I mean, look, you guys
Timo
are
Werner.
from a tough place. You had one guy on your team who I think
I know why SHEGZ likes Richarlison, because he cries as much.
Exactly, and that's karma because your screen froze right when you said that. It's pure karma because it's pure trap.
If you go to a club and you talk to 100 girls and you get one number, that's not a successful player.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You get all these chances if you miss out.
That's wrong. That is very successful. All it takes is one.
Fantastic.
But that's not the same with goals, yeah?
My God.
Different with women.
My God. Oh my gosh. See, I think this is it. You guys live in a land where you think you can get 20 gal in a night. Heroes, no, it's a numbers game. You play
all you need to do is wear Arsenal's training kit, the Jamaica flag one, and then turn up to Notting Hill Carnival.
That's it. You're the wickedest. I think Maranol wanted to comment on our
Maranol, go ahead and then we'll end on that.
Yeah, listen, I don't know why there's a debate, because if there's Richarlison and then we're debating about Martinelli, anyways, that's we're gonna leave that out there.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Okay, boys, I gotta go. I have football as well.
Okay.
Martinelli has done more than Sancho. Yeah. Martinelli has done more than Sancho. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yes, Europa
Martinelli
League
has done more than Sancho.
Okay.
Doesn't matter Europa League or.
Okay.
Listen, Europa League. I think I would like us to win that trophy just to get something under Erik ten Hag's belt. Good motivation for the team, and hopefully, if we keep performing, we might be able to get that. So I would want us to win that trophy. That's it.
Okay, excellent. All the best to the Europa League teams. We'll support you.
We'll see you soon, buddy. We'll see you soon.
This time, live in the moment. Enjoy life.
We get to see all the Richarlison in the Europa League.
I can't wait for the knockout stages when I see his name come up in the draw.
I can't wait for Richarlison to miss 10 more open goals. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back again the coming weeks. But yeah, cheers to you guys soon.
Cheers.